I would just like to say to people that like modern architecture, you're out of your fucking mind. Um, there's nothing good about modern architecture other than it just looks like a pile of shit. Number one, there's no symmetry. Symmetry is the most important part of architecture, and if you can't even get that right, then you're not an architect, you're an idiot. It's just so important. If you look at all old architecture, there's symmetry. And in modern architecture, there's barely any symmetry. Symmetry makes the building look nice. It makes it look like it's a building. If you don't have symmetry, then it just looks like a 5-year-old doodled on a piece of paper and then you decided to make it into a building. There's this building in Aspen, Colorado, the new art museum, and sure that has symmetry, but it's a box with it's a box with wood and planks. That's it. There's nothing to look at other than what you look at when you look at a basket. And there's actually is a basket building, and that looks like shit. You should make buildings that walls go like this or like this. Just make it straight, and then when you have a roof, but roofs are only, good for buildings that can pull off roofs. If you can't pull off a roof, then don't make a roof. Yeah. Also, number 2, colors. Putting random colors everywhere isn't good. Here are colors that you should never use. Blue, unless, I don't know. Blue doesn't really look good anywhere, not even in a house. You can use blue like a little bit if you're painting your shutters blue. So don't use blue unless it's a roof. You can have a blue, like if it's a big building, like an art museum or something. Don't use blue, green, and purple. These are colors that you should never use, not even a house, nothing. Just never use them. Don't ever use the color purple. You can use green for roofs, copper, that's nice, and so blue, but don't build buildings like that. Good colors for houses or buildings. Red, orange, you can use gray lightly. I guess it depends with yellow. I don't know. It's complicated, but you should never use blue. That's all I'm gonna say. Just never ever use blue. Also with I don't know. I had it written down somewhere. I can't remember. Oh yeah. Don't make it look ugly. It can be symmetrical and it can follow its colors. Just look at it and think, is this just, does it match the other buildings next to it? Does it does it look like a building, or does it look like, I don't know, like a house of cards that if you blow at it, it's gonna fall to pieces? That's what most modern architecture looks like. It looks clumsy. So you have to think, how is this building gonna look like in 20 years? Probably your modern building is gonna be dirty, because it's hard to maintain, because there's all kinds of shapes everywhere. And it's gonna lose its glory. You have to make sure that it can age properly. Also, don't blend new and old. That's the dumbest thing you can do. If you have an old neighborhood, leave it the fuck alone. And if you really have to, destroy a building, then just recreate. It's not hard to recreate. There's this building in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's also, I don't know, an art composium thing. And it's old. It was built in 2006, and it's old. It looks like an old building. It's not impossible. It's you can do it. Don't make it look fake. I'm gonna go back to the old and new. If there, sorry, it really unnerves me when you put a glass box in a nice old place. Just don't. Also, if there's like a new neighborhood, don't put an old, like if there's a boring glass modern architecture thing and you build an old house, that would look weird. Yeah. That's all there is to say. Also, don't make it look ridiculous. And don't use blue. I'm just gonna have to stress that again. If you look at Yaletown in Vancouver, all the buildings are blue, and that's really, really ugly because blue is the color of the sky. And if the sky is gray, all the buildings are gonna look gray, and then you're gonna have an ugly gray mess. And blue also looks cheap. So that's all I'm gonna say to modern architects. Stop it.